All right, we are calling this meeting to order at 6:01 on January 13th, 2026, and we'll begin with the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This meeting is being recorded by the local scene. Anyone intending to make an audio or video recording of this meeting should notify us at this time. Financial assistance applications are available on the town's website or by calling the Selectmen's office. We have a number of vacancies on committees and boards across the town. I think you guys are probably sick of hearing us talk about it, but we have openings on Finance Committee, Capital Planning Committee, Affordable Housing Trust, and more. If you want to volunteer and spend some time on town-related initiatives, just reach out to us and we can connect you with whatever you're interested in. I'm sure there's something we can find for you to do, so please reach out. Some upcoming things, the Sampson Fund applications are due January 15th to the treasurer. So anyone who's looking for more information on that, the details are on the website. For those who have dogs, dog license renewal season is upon us, so make sure you register your dog and get your dog license before March 15th, and you do that at the town clerk's office. Otherwise, you have extra fees to pay, so just keep that in mind. Let's see, we have a gala coming up on Saturday, January 31st, celebrating Kingston 300th anniversary. Tickets to the gala are available on the Recreation's website, and that gala includes a silent auction, dinner, dancing, and a 50-50 raffle. So I don't know what the size limitations are to the group, so make sure you buy your tickets soon before they sell out. That's all I had. Did anyone else have announcements?
I'd like to say one thing, but I'll wait until the end of the meeting.
Okay, you can do it if you want.
Want me to do it now?
It's up to you.
Yeah, let's wait till the end.
Okay, you got it. All right. Is there anyone here for his, it's okay, he's going to wait till the end anyway. Is there anyone here for open forum, here in the room or online? Okay. All right, so we'll go to our first appointment. We have a public hearing for naming a town property bench in honor of Matthew Hamilton. And we have our very own town clerk here to speak about this request. For those who are unfamiliar, this is part of the property naming policy. So he is going to talk about what he wants to do.
Thank you, Sandra Gallagher, 8 Longview Drive. Hi, I'm Paul Gallagher, 8 Longview Drive. The chairman seems to be missing, so vice chair, members of the board, and the residents of Kingston. Following the town's public property naming policy, I am here before the board to request a bench be placed in honoring Matthew Hamilton. Matt, as many of you know, died 2 years last week of ALS. He had a tough struggle, and his family, friends, and community came out with love, support, kindness, and generosity. But that's what we know of Matt's illness. What some may not know, he served his community for many years. Lots behind the scene. However, Matt did serve on the town's Finance Committee as an active member from June of 2004 until May of 2012. He also served on the Community Preservation Committee with one-year appointments in 2006, 2007, and 2010. Also serving on the Capital Planning Committee in 2004. Beyond appointed positions, Matt's hand is always there to help those in need and during special projects throughout the town, including with his activity at the Hilltop Athletic Club on the Board of Governors. He also acted as an election worker, town youth sports coaching staff, and is always working the grill at Memorial Day, if I let him. Matt was an all-around nice guy and everyone's friend, and my best friend. Matt's mom and family were hoping for a memorial to honor the town that he was so active, enjoyed, and loved. On my suggestion, I mentioned a park bench. Originally, I had hoped at the Adina, as we spent many mornings with coffee trying to solve the town's problems. But there were conservation issues. Then I went to the Hilltop and got permission from them, but I felt it wouldn't have been the public exposure it deserves. I finally found a beautiful spot at Gray's Beach. Matt lived in Rocky Nook and loved the eye of the ocean it provided. Upon request, the Recreation Commission denied me because there had been a new policy for naming rights on town property. This policy requires, among other things, 75 signatures to request the Board of Selectmen for a public hearing for authorization. That is what I am here for today. I will assume the Rec Department will have jurisdiction over the placing of the bench. The bench is complete other than the staining and the attachments to hold the bench in place. But I do find it very much worth noting that the Silver Lake Regional High School Career and Technical Education Department carpentry students designed and constructed the bench. It is a six-foot-long cedar bench with a memorial to Matt. I am truly hoping to be able to work with the Recreation Department on the placement along the circular walkway for rest and relaxation for walkers, runners, and just a peaceful view of one of Kingston's greatest attributes. So with the 75 signatures, certified residential signatures in the public hearing, I can hope that we can move forward on this project and vote today. I did leave some pictures. One of us of the bench, and it does say, you can barely read it, it says, everyone's best friend in memory of Matt Hamilton. The other one is a picture of the bench. It's a cedar bench. It's absolutely beautiful. Two gentlemen in town with experience in the trades, Bill Gallagher and Mark Cazalt, are working on picking the stain and staining it for us. And they'll be the ones that will figure out how to put it into the ground with approval from the Recreation Commission. So today I'm asking for your permission to place it on town property. I don't want to really go into it too much, but it's a lot of work for a bench. It'll be a lot of work for a tree. It'll be a lot of work for a small stone. I think that the policy is guided more towards the naming of a town property or a town building. You need almost as many signatures here as you do to get a special town meeting. So I guess I could have done that. So I think that's something, I wouldn't like to have said that at open forum, but I'll say it now because it is pertinent to this. It did take a lot of work to get this done. Obviously, 2 years in the making from conception to getting to where we are today. So I certainly hope that you support the cause. Matt was a great guy. He had a lot of impact on a lot of the kids, youth in town. I would say that when I put on Everyone's Best Friend, he had more youth than he did adult. So that's it.
Thank you, Paul. The bylaw that was approved at annual town meeting in 2023 clearly needs us to create a policy defining what property means, because it didn't define property, and I think that was just an oversight at the time. So that's something that we can fix by voting on a policy of what the definition is of property within that bylaw to alleviate some of the concerns of something like a bench or a stone, because I don't think that was the intention at the time. So that's something we can certainly talk about it at our next meeting. I'm going to open up to the board for questions, but I do want to mention just the bylaw clarifies that we can't vote tonight. We have to vote at the next meeting. It's detailed in the bylaw, so, but I don't have a problem with it.
Who wrote this bylaw?
I won't object to it. I believe it was actually.
I hope it wasn't the town clerk.
I believe it was a combination from other
Okay.
communities near us that have similar.
So how long away is
bylaws.
that?
When's our next meeting? 2 weeks? I don't have an objection to placing the bench if Recreation supports it as well. And
Yeah.
I mean, we'll open it to the public as well because it is a public hearing.
Yep.
So we'll hear if there are objections,
Okay.
and then we should have an answer for you by our next meeting.
Yeah, and I think the tricky part too is that we had to wait for the Recreation Department to approve the bench to be placed before the naming policy, otherwise we're approving something over another committee. So it definitely needs to be tweaked, the language and how the process works. But the recreation already voted in favor of the bench with the exact placement to be determined after.
Oh, when they see that
So-
picture.
Right, right. So, yeah, I don't think there was, after that policy was processed through and figured out, I mean, I agree. We have
Is
to
the-
tweak it.
Is the bylaw different from the public property naming policy that we have here?
Nope.
Well, you know, the first sentence there says the naming of public property such as buildings, parks, squares, and ways. So, you know, I think that's pretty specific, and certainly to me, when I was
Yeah.
reading this and preparing for the meeting, I said, you know, I don't understand why we have to do much. I think it's a good idea, having a public hearing like this, but I was just trying to figure out where the policy or the bylaw is forcing us to do it.
I think it was the name property that came into play, because when the recreation department votes to take anything onto property, a shed, a bench, it becomes the property of the town of Kingston. And so that's kind of where it got gray, I think, with the discussions at the recreation, is what is property and what does that mean and what is that? So then the ball fields become naming of properties and trails become naming of properties. So I think it definitely needs to be tweaked. I don't think the intent was to have this long process for a bench.
No, and it wasn't intended to be vague either.
Right.
My only question is to Paul, and it may be just a simple thing of cost, was any consideration to having a more permanent bench, you know, the cement types that we have in other places?
When you see this bench, you won't have any questions. I mean, honestly, I don't know what to tell you. There were cost restraints. Matt's mom is the one that's paying for it, and I got to tell you, some of those plastic benches out there can run you $1,200, $1,300, $1,400.
They're expensive.
And the school did this for hundreds, and an incredible job.
And Recreation did also have conversation about, in the past, all of the benches that we've approved down there matched, and they had to be the same material. So, but this bench has already been made, so that was a
Yeah.
conversation that we had too, that, you know,
And,
in light that
you
it
know,
was already
when you
made.
say, I'm not here to argue with anybody, but when you say material, I can appreciate it's a plastic, the bench is a plastic. But all of the benches down there are different colors.
Yep,
So it kind of
Right.
defeats the purpose of.
and it was the,
of
right,
having
and that,
it-
yeah,
of
exactly,
having it
and that
that
was the
way.
conversation intent,
Yeah.
was to try to match everything
Yeah.
down there with the same material, same color, and over the
Yeah.
years, that hasn't
This,
happened.
if you take a look at the bench, you'll notice that it's
Yeah.
actually very similar in shape and
Yeah.
size.
Yeah, no, that's great.
No bigger, no, it's not going to
Yep.
overwhelm anybody else.
And then once that is placed there, wherever the conversation happens, then it becomes the recreation department's responsibility to restore, maintain. And so that was another part of the conversation.
Which they won't have to worry about.
We shouldn't, it should last for a while. That salty water does kill stuff down there, so.
And the reason we're not voting on this is because we don't have the 75.
No, we have it. In the policy, there's language about, it has to be at the next regular scheduled board of selectmen meeting.
Oh, after the public hearing.
After the
Number
public
Which, do we need
hearing.
to open the public hearing?
I mean, yeah, probably. I mean, we probably should have. It's not required by state law, so you
Oh,
can
okay.
kind of,
That's fine.
I mean, we,
Doesn't sound like it's required by local law either.
it's a bylaw.
I was extremely, beyond upset when I saw it. I was extremely surprised to see that, or to hear that I would have to go through that process
Yeah.
for a park bench.
Right.
It's
So I
not,
think-
it's not a building, it's not a big piece of field, it's not a trail out behind the high school. This is a park bench, this is a memorial, and this is something that's gonna benefit everybody that's down there, you know? I mean, I gotta be honest with you, I've been fighting with Market Basket to put benches throughout the store, because old people and me have to sit down on occasion.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, do you want me to open the public
Oh,
hearing,
no, I
like,
don't care.
officially? Okay.
I don't care about big
I'm like, we
government.
just, I think it's more about, I think that the intention of it is to make sure that the public is aware of the request.
Yeah,
So, I mean, I'm happy to read the public hearing notice for the record. The Kingston Board of Selectmen will hold a public hearing at Kingston Townhouse, 26 Evergreen Street, Kingston, Massachusetts, on Tuesday, January 13th, 2026, at 6 p.m. to review the request from Paul Gallagher to place a memorial bench in honor of Matthew Hamilton at Grays Beach. This hearing will be conducted in person and accessible remotely via Zoom. Please see the town's website for a Zoom link. And if you'd like to just make it formal, we certainly could. So would you like, someone like to make a motion to open the public hearing?
I guess I open the public hearing.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We
Close
heard the
public hearing.
presentation, right? So that was 4-0. Is anyone from the public here to speak or ask questions or say anything about this request? The floor is yours if you'd like to.
We just want it.
Sorry, if you want, you can, someone from, if you want to say your name and address, and then you can say whatever you like.
Susan McNabb, 12 Bagnell Street, in Rocky Nook, one house down from the Hamiltons. I just think this is a great idea. I would volunteer with the recreation if it needed to be fixed at any time. And Matt did a lot for this town. Thank you.
Thank you.
Move to close the public hearing.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Shouldn't have said a word.
Thanks, Dawn. We'll check all the check boxes. As far as I can tell, I don't see any objections to this, and I do not have a problem with this.
Answer questions.
And we will look at fixing, because that wasn't the
We need to
intent.
make sure that, yeah,
The
there's
intent
a
was,
clarity.
the intent was buildings, as you
Buildings, fields,
remember why it
parks,
got brought in to
trails.
begin with.
Yeah. Thank you very
Buildings,
much.
fields, parks,
Yeah.
trails.
Yeah,
Thanks,
large.
Yeah. Mhm. Thank you, Paul. It's good to see you. Okay, moving on to number 2, we have a request from the police department to enter into an intermunicipal agreement with the towns of Halifax and Plimpton for shared clinician services.
Good evening, Madam Vice Chair, honorable members, Mr. Lambiase and Ms. Tucker. This is an agreement that's required in order for the towns to work together for the clinician services. You should have a copy of the draft in your packet, and I think the suggested motion was to authorize the chair to put the final signature on the document.
Sorry, we were just handing pictures back of the bench. My apologies.
So that's it. Answer any questions for you.
Anyone have any questions?
Looks
Okay.
good to me.
Then if someone would like to make a motion?
I move the Board of Selectmen accept the intermunicipal agreement as presented between the towns of Kingston, Halifax, and Plimpton for shared clinician services, and further move to authorize the chairman of the board to sign the agreement on behalf of the board.
Second.
Second, do we need to, if it needs to be signed today, do we need to switch it to vice chair? To make life easier?
Does it need to be signed today?
No burning rush.
Okay, then, yeah.
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Perfect, excellent. Chief, you want to move on to the next one? Request from the police department to enter into consultation agreement with, is it Kately
Yes.
Leary, LICSW, for consultation services relative to the co-response clinician.
So this employee is a licensed social worker who's going to provide clinical oversight to the clinician. The contract and the funding for it come from the State Department of Mental Health grant, and it's fully funded by them. It's a part-time position. This agreement has been vetted by council.
Again, part of the family services unit that we've been talking about probably, I don't know how long.
Yeah, that thing.
A while. There's a great presentation about the Family Services Unit. I don't remember exactly what day, but it's in one of the packets on the website. People can probably search for it if you're looking for it. But if you want information about the Family Services Unit, I highly recommend that presentation. Anyone make a motion?
I have one question.
Oh.
Of the chief here. Is this consultant, can I anticipate that it's necessary as we get the program going at a certain degree, but once the program is going, I shouldn't need to be paying for this consultant with, or at least at a very limited number of hours?
The oversight is going to remain in effect as long as the grant is funding the clinician. So DMH will pay for that oversight so that there's checks and balances to the work that the clinician is doing.
And if the grant went away and we can find a way to pay for the clinician, would we still have to have the consultant in above and beyond the clinician?
My best guess is that if I was to ask either an accreditation agency, if we're going to be going down that road, or town council, that it would probably fall into best practices. It's like paramedics, they have to go for, training, and they have to do a certain amount of hours. But at the top of the chain of command for those folks, there's a medical control doctor who oversees all their training. So this is more checks and balances, and I would guess that the answer would be yes, national best practices.
Okay, I understand the need for this. I support the clinician, but I get nervous again that we're adding additional cost on to what we're doing, but so be it.
Anything else?
I move the Board of Selectmen accept the consultation agreement between the town and Caitlin Leary for consultation services related to the co-response clinician program as presented, and further move to authorize the chairman of the board to sign the agreement on behalf of the board.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
It's 4-0-0.
Right.
Do you need that one quick?
Yes.
Oh, do you need to
Friendly
sign that then?
amendment to vice chair.
The vote says the chair, but actually, this is the one that has everybody.
Has everybody? So, okay, so we
Oh,
can just
Okay.
Very good.
forget the second half of that. So drop that and further move to authorize, so we're all
The
gonna
one I'm
sign
not-
it. So
The one I'm
perfect.
not official on is the one that needed to be changed.
That's perfect. All right. And It's not then
your
we,
dated.
we're looking at an appointment to fill a position from someone who retired in December?
Yes.
Okay.
One of those veteran officers retired December 24th was his last day on the books, and we're looking to backfill that position. This is not a new position.
I move the Board of Selectmen authorize the chief of police to appoint on behalf of the board one additional police patrol officer.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Did you say aye?
I did not, I'm going to abstain from that.
Okay. So 3-0-1. Sorry,
It's okay.
can't always tell when everyone's voting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Perfect. Right, we have an appointment request to the Commission on Disability. So we received a volunteer request form from Mr. Will Cushman requesting to be appointed to the Commission on Disability. There are currently no members on the commission, and Mr. Cushman is also requesting permission to distribute the flyer, which is included within our board materials, to recruit new members to the commission. Do you want to speak to that a little bit?
Thank you, Board of Selectmen. Tonight, I'm here to present the Commission on Disability, some of the requirements, just to give people who are interested on Zoom and possibly in the public. I want to advise the community that the requirements are the Commission shall consist of 5 to 13 members. Majority must be people with disabilities. At least one member must be intermediate family member of a person with a disability. At least one member must be an elected or appointed official of the town of Kingston. The role of the commission is advise and assist the town departments on disability-related issues, support compliance with state and federal accessibility laws, promote equal accessible inclusion and opportunity for all residents. And I want to give some of the people of the town of Kingston more information on this position can be found at the kingstonmass.gov/jobs website and click on the Commission on Disability. And this this commission has been without members since 2013, and we had to, and I just wanted to say thank you for looking into this position again, as this will be a big representation of members of the community with disabilities. And like I like thinking, this is a old saying, which is no taxation without representation. This will be very helpful for this group of people who currently do not have anyone to talk to in town. And I want to say thank you for considering this.
Okay, perfect. So it sounds like we need 4 more members for you. So anyone interested, please contact the Selectmen's office with a letter of interest, and we'll get those appointments going. Will reviewed some of the requirements. It's also covered in Mass General Law, Chapter 40, Section 8J, if anyone wants to read through those. So with that said, do we want to make a motion?
I move the Board of Selectmen appoint William Cushman to the Commission of Disability effective immediately through June 30th, 2029.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Just a reminder, you got to get the recruiting in, because got to have 5 members to get started. So we'll make sure we spread the word as best we can.
He's going to recruit now.
Thank you to the Board of Selectmen members, and also I have a couple people, I'm not going to say their names,
That's okay.
but I have a couple people currently who might be good candidates.
Great.
So I just wanted to keep this under wraps at this time as I'm looking into it.
Great.
And,
Sounds great.
And again, I want to say thank you for everyone here, and I hope to work with the chief and the family services unit to make sure that the town of Kingston is more accessible to everyone in this town. Thank you.
Thanks,
you.
Will. All right, meeting minutes? Any edits, changes, or a motion?
I move the Board of Selectmen approve the open session meeting minutes of December 30th, 2025 as presented.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And then I neglected in my announcements to welcome our new town administrator. Scott, welcome. I don't have as full of a room anymore, but there's still a handful of folks here, so hand it over to you for the town administrator report, but you've had a full, what is it? A week and a day? 2 days? Yeah. Happy New Year. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Just, I guess, for an update, we have started working.
Microphone.
There you go.
We have started working on the FY27 budget. Overall, the focus is, for me, is just getting an understanding of the town's structure, a financial structure, what our trends are, and the cost drivers. There's a lot to do and a lot to absorb. We are about a month behind schedule. I did meet with department heads today. I will get an updated schedule out and updated message to them and to this board for you folks to review. At this point, I have suggested, I've taken the liberty of suggesting that we start looking at a level service budget, at least preliminary, and then we'll take it from there. I have begun one-on-one meetings with the department heads to kind of get a better understanding of what their operations are and their priorities. I think we've had some really good meetings. I'm looking forward to working with each and every one of them. Working with human resources to fill some of the big vacancies that we have. Obviously, the building commissioner vacancy is a high priority, and we have a vacancy that Tricia has been working on filling in the Selectmen's office, so we're glad to be getting that taken care of. Currently working with the police chief and the facilities director on getting a office for the clinician to work out of. It'd be so we're putting out a bid document to get a trailer, an office trailer for that. So yeah, generally, working on just kind of getting to a lay of the land. We have a lot of work to do, but I think, this is a great town, and I'm really excited to be here.
Well, we're excited to have you, so.
Thank you.
Excellent. Any questions? Anything for Scott? No?
Can't wait to hear.
I attended the Silver Lake Regional School Committee meeting last week. I think some of you already know that a few weeks before, they had presented their initial budget. Their initial budget was about 3.75% increase bottom line expenses. Remember that that's the expenses, it's not the allocation, the assessment. That the assessment, can be quite different from that between the three towns. But the important thing that happened at this meeting is that they had a presentation and the full committee approved it. Their building is being paid off. That they're, right now, where for fiscal '26, it's $1.3 million in mortgage payment, debt payment. Kingston gets about $800K of that. This FY '27, $700K of that falls off, okay? Then the next year, FY '28, the remainder, $600K is paid. So what they've come up with a proposal, which I, for one, think is a very good proposal. They also have an assessment for building improvements. Those buildings are getting to be 25 years old. The assessment for building improvements, if it was to be done tomorrow, would be $73 million. The internally up there, their facilities people, their maintenance people, et cetera, they have cut that back to $60 million, feeling that certain projects can be handled internally over the years, okay? So what has been proposed is that, let me talk in how it impacts Kingston. We, this year, would be getting a $400,000 reduction in the assessment for the debt payment, okay? What they are proposing to do is to move that $400,000 into, in effect, a line item in the operating budget, which becomes a reserve for capital improvements. So that over the next 25 years, or whatever it might be, they would be putting $1.3 million into this fund and probably spending it as fast as they put it in to do some of their maintenance. The selling point that they're using is that, that $400,000 will not cost Kingston a nickel, because it will be, in effect, being changed from debt financing to capital projects. Where it will impact us, and my first look at it says that we still, with some real challenges, ought to be able to cover it, is that comes out of your, debt override. So that you're, in effect, if nothing changed, you take $400,000 out of what you can assess for taxes, you take $400,000 out of expenses down below, so you've got a wash, okay? In this case, the $400,000 will stay in the expenses, but your $400,000 is coming out of the debt override, in effect. Jason, the key person on the Silver Lake School Committee, I think most of you know, from Plimpton, he has offered to make this presentation to the boards of selectmen and the finance committees. So I'm going to ask, as soon as I can confirm, I was hoping we might be able to get him on our next agenda, but Halifax beat us to the punch. He's on their agenda for 2 weeks from tonight. So the February 14th meeting, if he's available, I'd like to suggest that we have him come and make a presentation to us, and to we could invite the Finance Committee at the same time. One of the reasons I support this so much is that I hope most of you remember about 3-4 years ago, we had $2 million a year of debt payments for the intermediate school come off of our expenses, okay? At the time, I suggested that we ought to be reserving that off. We ought to be creating an expense line to help pay for things like school roofs. Guess what? We didn't do that. In effect, most of that $2 million reduction in debt payment went into our operating budget. And that is, to me, the number one item that has destroyed the excess levy capacity in the town of Kingston. So I believe that it's important at the Silver Lake level, even though we don't have any control over that direct budget, over the assessment, I believe it's extremely important that they don't somehow let that reduced expense get into their operating budget without doing it. Now, the other thing that I liked what Jason proposed, he told the school committee in general, he told the school administration, if we're going to do this 400,000, but it's 700 in total. So if we're going to do this 700,000 across the three towns, we need to deliver an operating budget in FY27 of no more than 2.5%. Okay? I'm hoping that we can use that. I've talked to a couple of the local school committee members and encouraging them to find a way to reduce their budget, their proposed initial budget, down closer. I would like to see it closer to 3 to 3.5%. I'm not sure they can get to 2.5% on a local basis, but if they could get down closer to 3.5% to 3%, if the regional school assessment to us comes in at 2.5%, 3%, and if the rest of our budgets were held at somewhere around 3%, we can do a budget without a 2.5 override. There's a lot of ifs, ands, or buts, but I think it's a challenge that we need to at least have on the table at this time, and maybe a month from now or 2 months from now, we throw up our hands and say, there's no way we can go forward without making major cuts to services, without going to a 2.5 override for the town to determine if they want to do it or not. But the important thing is to get you thinking about this idea that Silver Lake and their school committee voted it unanimously. So whether the towns like it or not, it's going to go through. But I do think, and I stood up and said as one selectman for the town of Kingston, I supported it 100%. And, but I do think it's a good idea to get the information from Jason directly. You know, when we talk about $60 million, okay, we're not even talking about the interest that would double that to 120 million. So you could easily be talking, you know, spending 120 million, even if you said it was going to be over 30 years, it would be, you know, $4 million a year. Kingston would end up with 2.5 million of it. So that's kind of what I wanted to put on the table for members to think about.
And I think when you talk about the capital needs on the Silver Lake schools, it's important to think about how much a new school costs. You're talking hundreds of millions of dollars, like $500 million for a new high school
Lexington is building a $450 million high school.
right now. Last I saw, the quote for them was 660.
Has
so
it gone
that's-
up again?
Yes, so just keeping that in mind, that
And
short-term or long-term solutions, guys, like we can fix issues now, or we can not fix them and then have to replace the school. So we have to think.
And we've
long-term
been
with
very
these things.
fortunate as a town that the Silver Lake Regional School District has for 25 years pretty much paid for their own capital improvements. Now, conservative Mr. Pike would argue, well, the town is paying for it because most of their excess, what do they call it? Excess and whatever you call it.
E&D,
Excess and deficiency.
yeah.
And theirs comes out in excess. It's the same as free cash for the town. And so where most of theirs comes from is from underspending their budget. So in effect, you know, the town's pay for it through the operating budget. But, and then again, when you build a new building, you hope that you don't have a lot of capital improvements for 10 to 20 years, and then it starts catching up with you.
Sure.
So, thank you.
I suppose I can see why you wanted to wait until the end. Anyone else? No? Okay. Our next regular meeting is January 27th, 2026. And if anyone wants to make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Have a great night. Thank you, everybody.